What's up, guys? Bear Force One, that's right, with no face avatar today. We are in the thick of it, boys. It's gonna get a little dicey. Here we go. Look, we're looking into oil right now, right? That's our thing. We got shorting tech. That's one thing. We got oil, and we got the beloved defense stocks. Those are the three pillars of Bear Force One, baby. That's where we're at. So let's take a look at this. We are in CVX. We're in pretty big. Okay. We put a little bit of money in this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? All right. So we got in our entry over here at this rejection right here. So you have this top structure that formed right here. See this? We broke down past that in pre-market, bounced back up. Went through, rejected, boom, that was our entry, straight out of Uncle Toro's playbook. Go check out his videos on rejection entries. The man is a genius. So look, we got in, we rode this some gun down, all right? We of course, we hit this whole zone here. We bounced back up, had a little bit of consolidating. It's to be expected, especially on something as volatile as oil, okay? Overnight, we gapped down like 1.5% or something like that. Holy macro, it was like 1.2%. And now look, now we're even lower down here. What a glorious trade. But we are not done yet. Not even, well, we are close. 197-ish is our target goal. We're going to see how the market responds when it gets there. We are not just aiming for numbers. We're watching the price action. The way that the stocks move is the way that we play the game. You understand what I'm saying? If your partner's dancing, you got to dance the same dance. And just because they're doing a twirl doesn't mean it's the end of the dance. What? That's probably not a good analogy, but I think you know what I mean, okay? So look, we're going to get into a little bit on the geopolitical side of things here. Let me go ahead and bring up my thingamajig here. We got trusty old Google.
All mines have been removed and or detonated from within the international waters of the Strait of Hormuz. Iran has been notified that any ship or boat placing new mines will be immediately and systematically destroyed.
So it appears that Trump is now saying that even though the mines are cleared, it doesn't necessarily mean that there's a good convergence between the two nations on agreeing on how to end this thing. But Trump did state, now we can take this with a few grains of salt or whatever. He did say that we're not going to really focus on attacking Iran unless they hit us first. This is good. This is kind of like one of those things. You see two guys get in a fight, and neither of them really want to, or there's already been some punches thrown. But you kind of can't end it because you're kind of in the thick of it. That's kind of what this reminds me of, Like, we both know we should not be doing this any further. I'm not even mad at you anymore. I don't want to be the one that bows out first, That's kind of what I'm seeing here, ladies and gentlemen. So number one, we're bouncing off all-time highs, okay? We got a higher low, technically, which it is, but this is also kind of serves as a double top with a large volume profile that's way below where we're at now. We're just looking at technicals right now. We're not looking at anything fundamental. We're going to get into that. That is also in alignment with what we want, but let's focus on this. But big rejection. So where do we get in? Like I said before, we got in right here off that rejection of the top of that structure break. So we got double top. I deleted it, but we have a nice fat channel. You see that? So this looks silly, but this is highly relevant. I promise you. Uncle Toro, he's the man with a plan when it comes to channels. That man turned me on to all kinds of great TA. So you can see where we're kind of at with this, guys. You got a double, what did they say in that movie? A trifecta going on here. We got a lot of good things here. This is a good technical entry. That's why we entered, okay? That's what we saw. We saw that, and we felt the pulse on the geopolitical situation that we have, which is what we're going to get into next. So, you got Iran that has this situation going on. Iran is not wanting to surrender. The U.S. doesn't want to concede anything. Maybe if they're willing, if Iran gives up the nukes, but who really knows what's going on? I will say this. The only thing I really care about is how Trump's addressing affects the oil market, his tweets, his posts, his national things, and what other outside or other outliers can affect the global oil markets. These are the most important things that affect the trade that we're in. All right, so look, the main thing that we're going to focus on is what geopolitical actions have the most impact on our oil trades and the future of where we see oil going now. Most importantly, in my opinion, the Strait of Hormuz has been highly minimized. Not that it's not highly relevant, but for the last 6 months, the U.S., its allies, the Middle East, China, everyone has been finding alternate routes and alternate mechanics to make the oil stress from the closure of the Strait of Hormuz be less impactful. They want to make sure that if the Strait of Hormuz remains closed for the next 6 months to 2 years while we launch bombs at each other, that the world itself will go on, that not a little, but that a war in the Middle East is not going to wreck the economy of the entire planet. So originally speaking, there was 20 million barrels a day deficit that was lost out of the Strait of Hormuz, okay? That was out of an average of 100 million barrels a day for the entire planet. They've cut this down considerably to just a minimal amount. So what can change this now? If you've been paying attention to oil news, and your boy has, a new ship will get hit, some new missiles will get hit, a new American base will get hit. Yes, oil, Brent will rise. But is it spiking 30% a day or whatever like it was in the beginning? No, not even close. However, when peaceful resolution comes, remember that in the beginning when the peaceful resolution post came? Absolutely tank oil. There has not been much peaceful resolution, political news in reference to this that has come out at all recently. A lot of bad stuff, and the market is drifting. Right, let's take a look real quick. We'll use USO because it tracks Brent. Actually, we'll just use futures. All right, so this is CL. This is futures for oil. It follows and tracks crude oil. And you see at the start of the war, we had this massive spike, just ridiculous amounts of leverage going into here. Then we started, we formed a pennant right here. We broke out of that. Came all the way down here. That's when your boy got in. Yes, sir. I made a video about it a month or two ago. That's right. And we hit a banger on that one. Got back in. I didn't touch it after this. Because this is a no. I mean, you can't really feel it out. However, I did start to feel it out. And right around here, actually right here at the very peak, where you see the volume profile, how it maxes out in that position, that's exactly where I entered my short on Chevron. A bit different than this, but it is relevant. They do loosely track it. It's like a 1-to-3 tracking. It's not 1-to-1, but it's close, but it's not exact. So Chevron had its own technicals that I explained earlier. So anyway, this is amazing stuff. This is great. So this is telling me, when I look at this right here, even though there's like bombings all the time, people are dying, soldiers are getting, whatever. There's all this bad stuff. Look at the comparison between the beginning of the war and where we are now. Yes, we rebound here. That was when the peace deal ended. But this is like minor compared to this. So what I'm getting at is the leverage that negative news regarding the Strait of Hormuz or the Iran war has been mitigated by exhaustion. We're just tired. We don't want to hear about it. Okay, we get it. Another bomb dropped. Did it change anything? No. Gas prices are relatively the same. Strategic oil reserves are reportedly getting a bit better. The Strait of Hormuz went from a deficit of 20 million a day down to 4 million for the world economy and as far as the global markets on oil. So it's not that big a deal. However, if you put a positive catalyst into that, it's going to shoot it up, which means oil is going to shoot down. That's why I got into this, okay? The odds of there being a catalyst that's positive, that drives the price of oil down, is going to be way higher than the chance of there being a negative catalyst that sends this back up to $120 a barrel. The only thing that could do that, I'm going to bring this back up, and this is my opinion, okay, is the Bab al-Mandeb Strait. This right here, ladies and gentlemen. If this strait gets closed down, or if the Houthis attack from Yemen up to Saudi Arabia and destroy the refinery or the pipelines that are now redirecting much of the oil from the Strait of Hormuz, that will send oil back spiking up. However, while there are tensions, there might be skirmishes, do they really want the smoke after seeing all of Iran just getting blown to hell and their economy about to collapse? Probably not, right? Trading, just like gambling or starting a business, it's all probabilities. What are the probabilities of this being right versus it being wrong? That's what we focus on here. That's what I am personally invested $20,000 into for that's what I believe is going to happen. All right? So you heard it here first. Whether I'm right or wrong is irrelevant. I have been right up to this point, but I want a little bit more, baby. Appreciate you guys watching. Like and subscribe if you like this kind of content. We're going to deep dive all kinds of stuff. We're going to figure this out for you, all right? Come lock in with us. Let us know if you prefer the avatar of my ugly mug, just let me know. We'll see you guys on the next one, all right? Peace!